Hello, 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 stamping friends. Come on into the craft room, guys. I am Caron Bailey. I am your independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I am the ATX Stampin' Lady. Guys, thanks for joining me this evening here in the craft room. And for Sketchy Mondays, oh my goodness, I am so happy that y'all decided to join me for Sketchy Mondays. All right, so Sketchy Mondays is a series that I'm starting. First was last week, where on Monday I will pick, or I will pick a sketch or a design or a layout, and I will use that design layout sketch to create a card with you live on the channel on Mondays. Now, I will post in my Facebook group. The link to that is in the description box. My Facebook group, in the craft room with Caron, and every Monday at least, the sketch that we're going to be using will be posted in an event for that corresponding date. So there should be an event scheduled for May 12th, and you will see that sketch and the measurements that we're going to be using for this evening. If you can see it, this is the sketch that we're using. Can you see the measurements here? Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. No, I can't do it while I'm live. I don't have that yet. So, but this is the sketch, and I will share with you the measurements. This catalog went live on May 6th, and you guys, you know that with every annual catalog, we debut 5 new colors. Those colors are, I'm going to share with you the cardstock. Those colors are, hopefully I remember the names, Strawberry Slush, Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, Timid Tiger, and Darling Duckling. Those are the 5 in colors for 2025 through 2027. Now, I'm also going to be using the In Color Designer Series paper, and you can find those, if you have your catalog, you can find those on page 121. Now, what Stampin' Up! Does is they pick a print or a design. Let me see what this looks like. How is that one? It might be a little too dark. How about that one? Anyway, so we will have, so Stampin' Up! Has one design, and I'll share with you that design in a minute. And it brings out that design in each of the color families. So you can have those for coordinating effort. So the print that you're going to see, comes in the 2024 to 2026. It comes in the 2025 to 2027 in colors, the brights, subtles, regals, and the neutrals. Okay, so we'll be using those tonight, and let me grab that pack and share with you what those colors look like. Okay, and there are 40 sheets in the set. I've already cut one piece, so let me share with you the design. There's 2 designs in each of the colorways. Okay, so here's one, and this is the floral side. When I first saw this at On Stage, oh my God, I was blown away. Let me see if this works any better. Can you see it better, the paper, the print? And then you'll have this print front and back in all of the colors. Uh, Hold on, let me grab them. I put them in the back because I was cutting. And this one is the Strawberry Slush. This is Cloud Cover. Oops, nope, not that one. And then last is Secret Sea. Okay, and then the second print, third and fourth print, is you have these little leaves as the front, and then on the back, oh, I like this. I believe we also have a stamp that looks something like this, the stripes, right? So this, and then you'll have this same print in all of the colors. So this is the 2027, 2025, 2027. You'll see this in the subtles, you'll see it in the regals, you'll see it in all of the different color families. Okay? So to make tonight a little bit easier, I went ahead and I kind of, I did a lot of pre-cutting and embossing and all of that, because my intent tonight is to create 5 cards, one in each of the color family, but the same design. All right, so let me put the sketch, and you'll see the sketch in the upper right hand corner, upper left hand corner of the screen. So if you're looking, if you're needing that, you can refer to that as well. All right, so the first one I'm going to work with, you guys, blue is my favorite color, so I'm going to grab cloud cover. Now, everything that I'm working with tonight, I'm really going to try um, to do everything in the color family. Now, I don't have the re-inker for the the cloud cover. There was an issue with the cloud cover ink pad, so it's not available. It will not be available for color customers in the ink pad, but you're able to get the re-inker and the ink spots and could create your own ink spot. Okay, there was some quality issues um, with the cloud cover ink pad. So it is available in the Stampin' Right marker. You can get it in the Stampin' blends, and again, the re-inker and the mini ink pad spot that you can use. If you're joining me, say hello, guys. I love it when you guys talk to me. I'm gonna put the light back on because I'm a blind girl and I can't see. So here are the parts and the pieces that we're gonna need for tonight. Okay, so we're gonna need our card base. Card base is 8.5 by 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. You can do this this particular style. Hey, Becca. Oh, you are trying to win this one too, huh? Thanks for joining me tonight. So you can make this card in the top folding. So that would be that would be 8.5. I'm sorry, that would be 5.5 by 11. Is that right? No. That would be 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5. Oh, I got it right. That's the other way. But I prefer side folding cards, which is why I do most, if not all, of my cards in 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. So we're going to go ahead and put our card base aside. And I'm just going to burnish that. If I can find my bone folder. You know, for somebody that has like a million and one of those things, I can never find them when I need them, ever. Which is why I end up having a whole bunch of them. Okay? All right, so we've got our card base. Let's put that aside. We are also going to need a piece of, I'm going to use basic white. You don't need to use basic white. And this is our second layer. Now, this said to cut 2 3/8 by 4, and then our DSP layer was 2 3/4 by 4. Guys, I just went ahead, for me, the design that I'm using tonight, I just made this a 4 by 5.25 piece of cardstock, okay? And you'll see what I'm gonna do with that, okay? So let's put that aside as well. Then we've got, it says layer, so if you're going to follow the instruction, that's a 2 3/8 by 4-inch piece of paper. Then we need a piece of designer series paper in 2 3/4 by 4. Our sentiment layer is 1 3/4 by 3.5. Our fourth layer, I'm using basic black. Now, I made this 1/8 of an inch bigger than this piece, not a 1/4 inch. So this is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8 instead of 3 by 4 1/4. And then this piece is 2 3/4 by 4 inches. And then I had my punch, a 2-inch punch, and then I had a 2 3/4 inch punch, which I haven't punched anything out yet as my layering, if I'm going to layer. Now, remaining from that 6 by 6 piece, I have a 2-inch piece, and this we're going to use for our envelope. Okay, so that's all of our parts and pieces, and now we're going to go ahead and get ready to put this card. Oh, I didn't grab my ribbon. Okay, we'll figure the ribbon out. So, first thing we're going to do, let me fold this and put this out of the way. Gonna take a DSP. I ran take the DSP, and we're gonna add it to our basic white. Actually, we're not gonna add it yet. I'm gonna grab. I didn't really decide on a stamp set, but I think I'm going to use Impressions of Bloom. I think this is the stamp set that I'm gonna use. So my choices that I was giving myself were Pretty Florals and Impressions of Bloom. You guys have a favorite? Give me a 1 or a 2, or Pretty Florals or Impressions of Bloom. If you have a favorite one, let me know, and that's the one I'll work with. I'll give you guys a moment for that. So what you can do with this piece, right, while I'm waiting for you guys to give me if you have a preference. So if you cut this at the 2 3/8 by 4, you have the option that you can run it through an embossing folder, give it a little bit of texture. And of course, you don't have to use white. You could use another color. You can also use another piece of designer series paper. You could actually use the reverse side if that's what you wanted to do, right? Well, I might do that. No, I didn't. No, I'm not going to do that. Right? Because I already had a thought. Or we're going to do like I'm going to do, and I'm just going to stamp a design to create my own DSP. I'm going to go with Impressions of Bloom. Um, I'm going to go with Impressions of Bloom. Now this is a 2-step stamp, right? So let me grab a couple of blocks. It's a 3-step if you really think about it, right? And I think I am going to go with, I want this flower right here. So this one, this is a 2-step. So we have a solid and we have then the outline. We have the solid or outline image, and then we have the more detailed images, right? So let's grab the, I'm going to put one on each block. Actually, there's 3 flowers. Huh. One on each block. And then we're going to need leaves, right? Because I see the leaves right there. Sorry, guys. I'm reaching for stuff. All right, so we're going to have, same thing with the leaves. You have a outline and we have a fill image, right? Outline and a detailed, right? And we're going to use the same ink color. Oh, this one we're going to have to punt with our, oh, I know what we're going to do with that one. Let me find my Stampin' Right markers, guys. That's how we're going to color this. This might take a little, okay, how about I not start with this one? And the only reason I'm not is because we might take a little bit longer with coloring because we don't have the actual ink pad for this one, okay? So I'm going to start with another color, right? And let's start with our darling duckling. Yeah. Now the only reason I'm going to start with that color is because I already have the stamp pads, right? Yeah. All right. So we're going to use this as our little guide here. All right. And I'm going to just, where's my pencil? I want to just draw a little bit of a guideline for myself. All right, just a little bit. I don't have to do a big line or anything. Just to show my limits as to where I don't want to go. Right? So the first color we're going to start with, like I said, is Darling Duckling. Guys, I am excited. This is the first time I am playing with these colors. So I am like totally excited. Okay. So of course I'm going to start with I need a piece of scrap. Let's use the back of this. Okay. Well, and that's what it's going to look like stamped off. So let's do first generation, second generation. Okay, so now we have a good idea. All right, I have my left and right. Stamp off. Stamp off. Then we're going to grab our detailed sticker or stamp set. And then we're going to try to keep in mind where our um, how we're going to outline this stamp, right? So I'm going to just play with it just a little bit. I haven't figured out yet where, okay, this looks like the 3 right here. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Make this dark. And I have to stand up a little bit so I could get right over it. Do you see the difference? It's the same color ink pad, but because I stamped off, I'm able to get to the gradients of color, okay? And you don't even have to be perfect or anything, okay? You don't, not really. Perfect. Look at that. Now we're going to grab I'm going to go with Old Olive. And Old Olive is going to be our leaves all the way through, okay? Put this one away because we're done with that. I'm going to stamp off on the okay. Stamp off. And let's go ahead and put some leaves in here. And I'm just randomly putting my leaves, okay? I'm not putting them anywhere that they make sense to anything, which I probably should do that, right? And then we're just going to turn this guy over. Good. And then we're going to stamp on, again, I need to stand up here. When I am doing two-step stamping, if I'm not recording, I just need to make sure that I'm right over it so I can try to get it aligned as closely as possible. Okay, that's close. All right. All right. So we've got that done. There's another part in here. And I'm going to use, I think, Lemon Lolly for this one. Because I want a lighter center. I don't know if I should go lighter or darker. Let's see what Lemon Lolly does. Now, you can always, let's put it in here and see what it'll look like. Okay, that'll work. So we're going to stamp off Lemon Lolly. Too light, I think. Okay, that's a little too light. How about we try, ooh, I'm going to do crushed curry. Yeah, crushed curry is what we're going to do with. So stamp off. Stamp off. And what we're doing right now, this is called second generation stamping, okay? Okay. Then I'm going to turn this around and get our detail. I'm a little off on that one, huh? Perfect. All right, so that part is done. I'm going to need this again. And then now we'll get ready to assemble the rest of our card. So what we're going to end up doing is go ahead and with our adhesive, I'm a liquid girl, I'm a liquid glue kind of girl. And I'm just going to add some glue here. Add our card, add our designer series paper. And I use the matte. Here we go. How's that so far? Take a look at that, right? Now we're going to grab our, and we're going to mat this. Well, before we do that, I want to add a little bit of interest. I've been doing a lot of this technique a lot with embossed cardstock, just dragging the white ink over it. I've been doing that a lot lately. It just always seems to add a little bit of something extra um, to the embossed area. And just very lightly. And you don't even have to get everything done. Just a little bit of it, right? Just a little bit. And that'll just add a little bit of interest to that cardstock. Now you can also go heavier if you want a little bit to emphasize the white a little bit more. You can do that. I just want it to be very light. All right, let's put this away. Add a little bit of adhesive. Now again, when we emboss, you can use any kind of adhesive. I would highly encourage you to use, in this particular instance, if you have an embossed piece, especially a 3D embossed piece, um, liquid glue, or maybe even some double-sided tape, um, or score tape, some kind of a strong bond, because you need to get into the little cracks and crevices of the embossed piece. Now again, I just made my matte layer a little bit, 1/8 of an inch bigger, right? All right, so let's make sure we've got all of our pieces before we completely put things together, right? So here we've got our first layer, which is the card base. Our second layer, we've got our DSP layer. Then we've got our, which we haven't added yet. So let's go ahead, and I think I'm just going to put this, oh, okay. Okay. It's too bad I had to cover it up. So we'll keep that in mind when we're stamping the next one. Probably not, because I like the way it looks. Okay. Then I'm just going to place. So next time I'm stamping, I'm probably not going to put anything in the center. I'll probably do it more on the sides, right? Because we can see that we're covering some stuff up, right? I am going to start using my T-ruler. All right, so we've got that part done. Now let's bring in our sentiment layer. And that piece is 1 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay. So I appreciate you so very much. Let's put this off. Gonna need another block. Line that up. Oops. Put that right there. Make sure it's relatively even or straight. think that's about right. Okay. It's not straight on the block, right? I can see that. It looks straight when I picked it up, but let me tell you, when I looked at it, that's why I tell you guys, nothing I do is straight. That looks even better. Um, looking for my black ink. Mhm. All right, I'm going to use Secret C for all of this. It's a darker color. So I'm just going to see how this works if I use Secret C for all of my sentiments tonight, even the Secret C one. Perfect. All right. Let's ink this up. Now, guys, you can change the sentiment on all of them, okay? I'm going to go about here. I know. You prefer score tape? I did because I just prefer liquid glue. I have never used score tape for my embossing folders my embossed pieces. I might try that sometime to see what that looks like. Guys, while you're watching, if you would do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it. It would definitely help um, the analytics, that whole YouTube analytics business there. And it would just help me to reach more people. I have to go about right here. All right. So this is going to go here. And then I thought about, what did I do with them? Hold on. Oh, here we go. My scraps. I thought about, yeah, there's some of them right there. How about if I punch this out? Hold on just a second, y'all. My scraps ought to be in here somewhere. I'm looking for the scrap pieces for the other two colors, the other three colors, so I can punch those out. I had them somewhere. Now they seem to have disappeared. Okay. This is why it takes me so long with these things. Because I put things in places that I don't ever know where they are. All right. It really was just there. And now it's no longer there. All right, give me just a moment. I do need to find that. That is part of my design now. You know, as soon as I move on and I cut another piece, I'm going to find it. And it's really going to irritate me. It is. It is so going to irritate me once I punch this because I'm going to find it. Then I'm going to need the Secret Sea and the Timid Tiger. Let me just punch them all and get it right out of the way. Right out of the way. So generally this should not take, because this was a very easy design, you guys, so it really shouldn't take as much time. But sometimes when you have like design changes like I'm doing in the middle of things, it can make them go a little bit faster or longer. So let's just go ahead and let's get this put on because this is going to go here if we follow our diagram, right? And so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put some dimensions on the sides, right? All along the side here. Gonna use about 6 of them. Could you use less? Absolutely, you can use less. Should you use less? Probably not. So I'm gonna do this, and I think that's fine. And then this guy can go right up here. Right? I think it can go, oh, it's on there. So I think that's how that's gonna go for us here. Okay? How about I put one right here? and one right here. I just couldn't resist, y'all. I had to. I had to. All right. So let's add our, make sure it's lined up. It's on that line. We have somewhat of an even border. And then this is going to go on top, and then a bow. Guys, this card is almost done. I think it's very beautiful, right? Simple yet beautiful. Okay. So I'm just going to add this to our card base. Add a little bit of adhesive. I'm so glad you like it, Bex. And I'm going to share with you on the next ones, I'm going to do a couple of things different that'll just bump it up just a little bit. Now, before I press everything down, I'm going to adjust it. That's the beauty of liquid glue. You have just a couple of minutes to put things in place before you actually burnish the adhesive into the cardstock. Okay, perfect. Now, this is going to go here, like so. So I'm going to need some dimensionals at the top and just regular adhesive at the bottom. Okay. And then adhesive at the bottom. And sometimes it's just easier to put the adhesive where you know part of it's going to go. And here we go. Just like that. All right. Last thing on this card is a bow. Now, I did not see that Stampin' Up! Came out with any sort of coordinating in-color ribbon this season, and I may have missed it, but I did not see it in the catalog. So I am just going to grab a piece of, oh God, gold trim in this case, and I'm going to make a quick little faux bow. Sorry. Allergies seem to be kicking up again. I need my third hand right here. Oops. Sorry about that. I need my third hand. And I'm going to show you another way. I think I've shared it with you before. um, so to do a faux bow, okay? Because when you struggle with bows as much as I do, you need all the help you can get, right? And you're just going to pop this guy right through the loop. So this is one way of doing it. Oh, come on. Sometimes twine and trim are not necessarily the easiest to work with, right? So we've got that, and then I'm just going to adjust this to where I want it, and then pull it taut. Something just happened there. There we go. I'm going to share with you an even easier way to do it. Even easier. I went to a class by the Sweet Stamper, Candy Rattray, fellow demonstrator, and in her class is where I learned how to do the other kind of bow that I'm going to show you in just a little bit. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to grab me a glue dot. I'm going to put this bow right here. And that's everything that needs to be done to this card according to the sketch. Okay? All right, so this is card number 1 based on the sketch. And guys, we're just going to do the same thing in all of the colorways. So we will have one complete set of cards using all of the new Stampin' Up! In colors. What do you think about this? Isn't this cute? Very simple. Guys, if you do decide to create using this template, please share it with me. I would love to see what you create. All right, we might not do it that way. Da-da-da-da-da. All right, so this is not going to fit here. This was 2 inches. Hey, Faye, how are you? Welcome. All right, so this might not fit. It's not going to work the way I want it to work. So we're going to not put that on there. We are going to decorate our envelope, and we are going to put a piece of basic white that's in there. That's 4 by 5 and a quarter. And then this card will be finished. So we should be able to rock and roll right through our cards. And I'm going to figure this out, this envelope one, how to make it work with what we have. So we finished with the Darling Duckling. Now let's go in with Timid Tiger. Let's put this one away because we're not going to do this one anymore. We're going to work on our Timid Tiger colorway. Ah! Didn't I tell you that as soon as I punched those things out, I would find these? Oh, so maddening. So maddening. All right. Card base. Again, card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That gives us an A2 card base. Somehow my score is off a little bit. Let's put that aside. I'm going to grab our craft white ink while we're waiting. So this has a little bit of drying time. And then we're we're just going to drag the ink pad over it. The more pressure you add to it, the more of the white that you'll have on the raised. Okay, going to set that aside so it can dry for a little bit. Then we're going to grab our 4 by 5 1/4 piece. And then we're going to use this as a guide, right? Just as a little bit of a guide. And then grab our Timid Tiger. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. You guys know what I'm going to do? I should have thought about it when I was doing the other one, right? We got to stamp off, right? So how about we stamp off on the envelope, right? So let's grab our outline image. Huh. Right? Waste not, want not, right? And I know I said I wasn't going to do anything in the center, right? But you see that I kind of didn't listen to myself, right? And we're just designing our envelope as we move along. We're just going to do one more because we do observe the rule of odds, right? And anything that's going to get covered up by the designer series paper, we don't really have to worry about too much, right? All right. Find our 3. And there we go. Find our 3 and line it up. There we go. Now, if you don't know what I mean when I say find our 3, on the image, there is like a set of 3 different, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so on the stamp, there's the only set of 3, right? And then on the outline, you'll see again the only set of 3. So when you're lining them, that's your guide. That's kind of what you're looking for, is that set of 3, to make sure that you're lining things up. Um, you're able to line things up, okay? Perfect. Let's close this up for now. I think I'm still going to use the crushed curry. Oh, I didn't put any leaves on here. Let's get some leaves on here really quick. Do the same thing on your envelope. Use those leaves. The leaves on your envelopes, they're just going to be solid, right? We're not going to add any... Oh, wait. I should have done that on there. Hold on. Stamp off. Right? Got this one right here. Put that there. How about we put one in here? How about we put another one over here? I'm not doing these with any planning or anything in mind, guys. I am just where it makes sense is what I'm doing. For me, my image, right? And then just put this one up here. Now we can add our detail. Oh, I should never have put that one there, but we might cover that one up a little bit. Right? So let's add this here. Let's add this one here. Let's add this one here. And then let's add this one here. Well, that one's off. Okay. Then last but not least, we're going to add our flower centers. Stamp off. Stamp off. And this is second generation stamping, y'all. If you did not know the name of it, this is the technique that we are doing. It's called second generation stamping. That one's off a little bit, but Rando is the name of our game. All right, and there we go. And then last, fill in our full strength, our detailed image. Boom. All right, so this is done. Let's get to putting our card together. Let's put this away, this away. Well, Becca, now's as good a time as any to try our adhesive, right? Or tear and tape, right? Let's do that. I generally have to use liquid glue because I need that extra time to that wiggle room that liquid glue affords me. Yeah, I do need it. So generally, that is why I will always default um, to liquid adhesive. Give that a little burnish. Make sure you have good adhesive transfer, and then just go ahead and lift this off. Release the release paper. So yeah, second card's going a lot faster, isn't it? All right. Okay. Turn that over. Give that a little press. Perfect. And now we're going to add our paper. I definitely need the wiggle room with this one. Definitely need the wiggle room. So I'm going back to my liquid adhesive. Thank you very much. Ooh, that's a good idea. Becca said don't release, maybe try not to remove all of the release paper until you have it lined up. You know, I've seen that before. Right, and so this will go right here. Why does everything look crooked to me? Oh yeah. I told myself I would try very hard to start using this thing called a T ruler. Right? And so when I put this on here, it's too much over there. So if this is here, I want this to be about a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch from the sides. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. Ha! Ha! Okay. So if this is here, let's line this up on the 1/2 inch. So I kind of know that's where I need that to be, right? Is that how I'm using this, Becca? I think last week you told me you had a T you used a T ruler before, right? And so now I went there. Hmm. Still not. See, I told you I use a ruler and I still can't make anything straight. Oh my goodness. Just easier for me to eyeball the darn thing. And even that doesn't work. I'm gonna figure out the art of the T ruler. You watch. I'm gonna. All right. Now, where's my envelope? Because I'm missing my sentiment strip. Here we go. We used secrets C for our sentiment. Now, one of the things I noticed last time, I want to bring my sentiment down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a lot of work with that T ruler. I am not very good at it, and I want to get good at it, but I'm not quite there yet. But I'm going to get there. Anything that can help me get to alignment is perfect indeed. All right, so number 2, stamp off. Let's go ahead and put this guy here. Again, that's done. Full strength. And let's go ahead and put him here. Perfect. Kind of clean this off, get ready for our next color. Okay, and then I told you I'm going to show you my trick. Put these back to back like that. Couple of things I want to do with this, right? When I looked at it last time, I didn't think this was so much of a finished edge, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Stampin' Blends and I'm going to use the Coordinating Secret C Stampin' Blend. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the brush end, line it up on some scrap paper, make a line across. I just slipped there, but you get the gist of what I'm doing, right? Oh, I slipped again. And I gave myself a little bit of a border, right? Without actually cutting additional cardstock. Now, you don't always have to stamp off first. You can skip that step like I just did. And now what I'm looking for is a punch. Oh, where did I put that? All right. So here's that trick that I was telling you about, right? So this was from I think it was the tag bundle. I don't remember the name of it. And I'm just going to align right here, make a little punch just about where I'm going to put my bow, right? Wherever that is. Just a little punch. Then what I'm going to do, I might need, that hole might be too big. Grab a little piece. I'm going to thread the looped end through from the back to the front. Okay, just let that sit there for now. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did before, do my little loops. And I just wrap about 2 or 3 times, right? You can wrap as many times as you like or as little as you like, but at least, let's go, here we go. And then I'm going to grab my third hand again. All right. And I'm going to use that to feed it through that loop that we just created, right? Make sure it's in there. And then I'm going to just pull on that loop, making sure everything is right where it needs to be, adjusting the loops, making sure things are centered, right? Now the one thing you have to try to remember, right, is to make sure that the little hole that you punch, it might be a little bit too big for the material that I'm using as for my ribbon. So you got to kind of think about that sometimes too, so that it doesn't sneak through when you pull it, right? And then before I secure everything in place, I'm just going to make sure this is kind of where I want it to be. My loops are how I want them to be, and then I just realized I cannot pull too tight, guys, because it'll pull it right through. So the punch, even though it's 1/8 of an inch, the twine is so, the gold thread is just so narrow or so thin that if we pull it too tight, it'll pull it right through. So before I do anything else, I'm going to secure this with a piece of, um, where's my double-sided tape? You can use a glue dot if you'd like. I'm going to use double-sided tape. Okay. Perfect. So now that that's there, we have our little ribbon. All right. And now we're going to add our dimensions. There we go. We're going to add this about halfway, like so. And then I'm going to add our coordinating there. And we've got 2 of our 5 in color cards pieces complete. Okay. We're just going to put some adhesive about right there. Add this right here. And this part is done as well. Okay. Perfect. Last but not least, add our card to our card front. Next time we get together, Becca, which I know you're a very busy lady, you got to work with me on with the T ruler, right? When we have our next card making session, right? All right. We should have about 1/8 of an inch on each side. And then I got to lift it up so that I can see. We good there. We good there. And our Timid Tiger version is complete with coordinating decorated envelope. Okay? That's how easy these cards can be. Okay? All right, so I'm going to stop talking on this one, right? So if you guys have any questions at all, just I'm going to look up occasionally, but I'm going to see how quickly I can get through the other ones, okay? Let's put this, next one's going to be our strawberry slush version. I might change ribbon on this one. I might change ribbon on this one. Let's get the stamp set cleaned off so we don't have any transfer. That's going to stay the same. That's going to stay the same. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to time myself to see how quickly I can get through this, right? So this we're going to keep over here. Starting now. I got 9:36. Let's see how quickly I can get through one of these cards. All right. I know it's going to get covered up, but I just need to have it done, right? All right, where's my 3? There's my 3 right there. Full strength on the 3. No, that's not right. Oh, full strength. That's not my 3. There it is right there. There's my 3. Sometimes you can just see it very clearly, right? So you'll know when you don't have it right. 3. I was off on that one a little bit. There we go. Mm-hmm. Oh. And that just goes to show you that you don't need to use it all. You don't even have to double stamp if you don't want to. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go on here. Okay. Give me a second, y'all. I have ink on my hands that I gotta get off because I am gonna make a mess of this thing. I just use hand sanitizer or some alcohol to get the most of it off to limit my the ink transfer. Okay. should have done the white. Let that dry for a second. Let's get that done now. There we go. Then grab this. Get our flower centers done. Stamp off. Stamp off. Stamp off. Stamp off. And stamp off. Perfect. Now full strength. Full strength. And sometimes it's easier to turn your cardstock than to try to manipulate your head or, manipulate the block or anything like that. Sometimes it's just easier. And y'all know what's, noticed that for me, what's different tonight, right, is I have not used any sort of embellishment, right? You notice that? Yeah. No bling of any sort. I'm going to fix that in just a minute. Now this layout I got from Stamp with Diane. That's the name of the Pinterest board. I saw it on Pinterest, and her name was Stamp with Diane. That is the designer or the creator of this particular um, layout. So I do need to give her credit for this card, or rather for this design. Okay. Oh my gosh, I just made a mess. I'm going to have to redo my envelope. Not right now, but I'm going to have to redo my envelope. I tried it. I'm going back to my old faithful liquid glue. Liquid glue is my old faithful. I am going back. And it is the only time I use that as much liquid glue is when I am trying to adhere an embossed panel. Because it just gives me that much time. Excuse me. Perfect. And this is going to go here. Okay, perfect. Let's get this adhered. So I started at 9:36, I think was the time I said, right? For my card number, for this card. How am I doing on time here? Okay, that goes down, that's done. Let's grab our sentiment. And before we do our sentiment, let's grab, I think I'm just going to do the, I was just going to do the fill part, but I don't think so. I'm going to do everything, right? Right there. And then this is going to go right here. Then we're going to grab our fill. Perfect. And now our sentiment. Again, I do hope you guys give this a try, the layout, even if you don't like the colors that I'm using, or not colors, but the stamp set or the sentiments or anything like that. I hope you give the layout a try. I think it's very easy. Perfect. I appreciate you. And then I'm going to grab um, I'm going to go with the, let's try to see what that nib does. Oh, that's better. Much better. The brush tip was it was very juicy, right? And so and it flayed a lot, right? Because it's the brush end of it. So I would recommend that you use the pointed edge of it, um, just to make sure that you get a narrower line, you get a cleaner line, the just get a cleaner line, right? All right, I'm gonna use, what ribbon do I have over here? This is wild wheat from last. I'm gonna use that. Yeah. This is probably a little too thick to go through there. Huh. All right, guys, give me a second here. Let's use this one. Let's use this one. As always, you guys, when you're creating for yourself, you can definitely take your time and identify the products that you want to use. If you're going to use if you use ribbon, make sure you've identified that ahead of time, not like me. And I'm just going to use the reversible tweezers to help me get that through. Here's goes that. Make a little bow. Wrap 2 or 3 times. A little bit of a tail. Grab that out of the way. Yeah. Press the middles together. Grab our third hand. Guys, one of the must-have tools for your craft room is some tweezers. Reversibles are great. You don't have to have reversibles, but as long as you have tweezers in your craft room. They are a godsend, okay? Let's just go ahead and pull this in. And as always, before I pull that any tighter, I secure it where I want to be, maybe about midway. Here we go. All right. Then we're going to come on in, straighten our bow, spread our loops. All right. Let's go ahead and tie this down. Secure it again with a square knot instead of just a snip this off. Okay. All right. Now all we're going to do is bring our legs out. Our legs out. Shape our bow. Form our loops. There we go. Oops. And then adhere this down. Not bad, not bad at all. 20 minutes so far. I know. I started with what, 6, 8? What am I up to 10 now? Before long, I'm going to have all of it covered. All of it covered. Just how I work, y'all. Just how I work. All right. Gonna add this on here. I think that's about straight. Looks straight to me. Add that down. Get our loops. Perfect. Grab our adhesive piece. And then alrighty. There we go. Now, we got 2 more to go, but I'm going to work with the the cloud cover, because I want to show you how to work with, because there's not going to be an ink pad per se, but it's still a beautiful color, so you can still use it. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that, okay? I don't have the ink, the re-inker yet, and I don't have any of the ink cube, but we can still work um, with the set, with the ink, right? Still use it, still make it beautiful. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that, okay? Now, before I even bring that out, y'all, I'm going to definitely have to clean those stamps. Okay, most red color ink is going to stain your ink pad or your photopolymer set. Boom. I'm going to have to redo this envelope. Look at that mess I made. I'm going to figure out how to clean it, right? So card number 3 is done. Let's work on our cloud cover set. And this one's going to take longer, which is why I didn't want to do it first. I probably should have done it first. Let's get this inked up first. Now, using the craft ink is part of this design, right? So if you don't like that look, you don't have to use it at all. You could just use the embossed piece the way it is. But for us tonight, this was a design element. Oh, come off. Okay, let's put this away. Let you dry. All right. Where's my stamp cleaner? I want to get as much of the strawberry slush off as I can. The ink won't transfer, but it will be stained, okay? All right. So in order to achieve this look, I'm gonna use, and I hope that we're gonna, oh, there we go. We're gonna use our Stampin' Right marker. This is my, these are the 2023, no, 25 to 27, 23 to 26. That's in here. No. 24 to 26. Sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and grab this piece of cardstock, right? And because of, we may just want to do, let's start with our detailed image, right? And you're just going to do ink the marker. I'm going to do it this one to see what kind of color I get, right? It's going to be very light. So, on this card, I'm just going to use the detailed image. All right. Once I get my mini ink cubes, my ink spots, and my re-inker, I just use the ink spot. That's it. But I don't have it, and I'm making, you can use whatever you do have, which happens to be Now again, right, we know that the design of the card is going to cover up the inside. So I'm just going to make my images on the outside. I might add another one too. Hold on. And I'm just going to do, because it's so light, I'm going to stamp off, but I'm going to stamp off on the detailed one of the centers so that it's not so dark. Again, I'm just making an adjustment based upon the fact that I don't have um, that we don't have I don't have an ink pad for it. And I'm going to stamp off on everything because that cloud cover is kind of light, right? So I don't want everything to overpower it. Hmm. Perfect. All right. So we have basically stuck to our design pattern, right? Get this adhered. And it's a little bit of a softer look just using um, the Stampin' Right marker. Now you can't use the Stampin' Blends on the photopolymer or any of your ink, your stamps. So you can only use the Stampin' Right markers on for that project. Have a little bit of a overhang here. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to mat our embossed layer like so. And I'm going to finish the Secret C one off camera because then I knew we went a little bit long tonight. And I knew we would have trying to get 5 cards done. So I'm going to finish the Secret C off line or off camera. But we will have done 4 of the... All right, guys. So, of course, I always like to do a little bit of giveaway for those of you who have visited with me. Who have not only visited with me, but interacted with me. So if you can, just do me one quick favor. Just go ahead and like this video and or leave me a comment. Just say hi, any kind of interaction with me. And it gets you an option, entry into the drawing tonight to receive one of these cards that we made tonight. I will post the winner on my next video, the next time I go live, or I should do this on Wednesday. Wednesday when we do Wing It Wednesday. Wing It Wednesday, I kind of just wing it. Kind of like I'm doing now, but more so, I just really don't have any idea. So I might grab a kit. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to wing it. That's why I call it Wing It Wednesday. All right, stamp set. Last one for tonight on video. And I'm going to, oops, my hands are filthy. You guys, I'm probably one of the only crafters, well, one of few, because there are others, that I do not like my fingers to be all inky. It drives me nuts. It drives me bonkers to have inky fingers. Does it bother anybody else to have inky fingers? It's kind of why I don't do some techniques. Probably why I'm not into mixed media a lot, because it's as beautiful as it is not oftentimes a clean process. And I don't like my fingers to be dirty. I don't like it. I do not like it at all. All right, here we go. Now, guys, because I'm just using the the detailed part of it, and the detail is not meant. Oh, I should have stamped off. I meant to stamp off. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. All right, that's done. Nothing to do about it now. All right, then I'm going to go and grab my little bullet nib here and give myself a little bit of a matted look. All righty. Oops. Let me just stamp that off, because that was not clean whatsoever. I didn't follow my own tap, tap, tap rule. Now this is not only just to give it a border, right? But guys, thank you so much for joining me, Becca. I really appreciate you. But one of the other things about doing the full border is, if you're going to be doing a lot of matting, guys, sending stuff through the mail these days is not an inexpensive feat, right? And normally adding any sort of bulk to your process definitely gives it a um, adding any kind of bulk to your card will increase the cost to mail it, right? Because it couldn't fit through and you need this, that, and the other, right? So to still achieve that layered look, use your markers. Use your markers. Let me see if this thicker ribbon will fit through. I don't think so, but I'm going to try. Now, I can always punch a little bit of I can do that. Let's do that. Right next to it, make it a bigger, a little bit of a bigger hole. Right? There we go. There we go. And I'm not going to make a bigger loop today. Just maybe one pass. All right. I'm going to do that only because I don't want such a big knot. Right? Put this through here. And then let's tighten up on this one. Just be very careful of how tight you're tightening, especially when you're using a thicker bow, because you don't want it to rip. Right? Perfect. Perfect. All right. Trim these off. And you guys, don't throw these little pieces away. You can make bows with those as well. Okay? I'm going to show you, maybe not tonight, but I'm going to show you how you can make a bow with them. Okay? Make sure that doesn't show in the front. Those are your legs. And now let's just put some dimensions on there. Has anybody watched anything about the Met Gala? I mean, it's been running across my YouTube feed like daily. Alrighty. Let's add our, oh, get that down. And we're gonna put this on here. righty. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, and if you have any questions at all, don't forget to reach out to me. I'm going to scroll my information across the top. And don't forget this month, guys, we have a join special to join Stampin' Up! And I would love it if you would join Stampin' Up! As a member of my team. And this month and this month only, when you just join Stampin' Up! This month, you can join Stampin' Up! For $99. But wait, guess what? For that $99, you get to choose. Stampin' Up! Is not going to choose for you. You get to choose $99 in product. I'm sorry, $165 in products for 900 and oh gosh. No, no, no. Let's start over. For $99, you get to choose $165 in product, right? Anything you want for $99, but you get to choose $165 worth of product. But you also get a 1-month Paper Pumpkin subscription included as part of that. It's not part of your 99. It's just an additional thank you for joining Stampin' Up. It's on Stampin' Up. So with the release of the new catalog, the new online exclusives, you guys, now is the time. If you want to become a demonstrator, whether you want to do what I do classes, not do classes, uh, you want to just get the discount up to 25% off your own products, guys. Plus, you get to reap Stampin' Rewards, okay? And what are Stampin' Rewards? It's a new program Stampin' Up! Went to where for every starting at $20, have to make a minimum $20 purchase, right? And you get 10% rewards that you can use the following month. So if you spend $50 this month, if you're a customer, then that just means that you have earned 10% of 50 is $5 that you bank and you can use or redeem anytime you'd want the following month. Anytime after the following month, right? So if you earn it in May, you can redeem it in June. Or if you wanted to wait, bank it, you can do that. All right. So let me do a little bit of cleanup here, and then I'm going to bring them all back in for you so you can see what we created this evening, okay? So we used the In Colors tonight. We used the In Color DSP. We used Impressions of Bloom stand set. We used our punches. We used ribbons. We used a lot. All right, so this is our cloud cover. This is our strawberry slush version. This is the timid tiger version. And this is our darling duckling version. Same card, same layout. If you create with this layout, this stamp set, please go ahead and post it. The link is in the video in the description box. Guys, thanks for spending 2 hours of your time with me. I know that you have your choice of who you choose to spend your time with, and that you're spending any time at all with me. I am really, really appreciative of this. Join me in the next couple of days when we go live, Wing It Wednesday, and then we're going to try to come live with you again on Thursday for Case the Chat and Caddy. Guys, thanks for joining me, and you have a wonderful evening and have a happy stamping day.